Title: The Music Box in Room 312. Rain tapped against the dusty windows of the Dunaszeg Haven Elderly Home, casting pale streaks across the hallway floor. 12-year-old Nora sat on the bench outside Room 312, eyes fixed on the half-open door. Her hands clutched a small notebook, the same one she'd used to scribble every odd thing she noticed since her mother took the part-time job at the home. Inside Room 312 lived Mr. Károly Breznay, a quiet, silver-haired man who rarely spoke and always kept a strange wooden box locked on his bedside table. No family ever visited. No one ever touched the box. But last week, Nora had heard something, a soft melody coming from the box when the night nurse opened the window too hard, shaking the table. The music had lasted only 5 seconds, but the tune felt oddly familiar. It played in her dreams now, and today her curiosity outweighed her fear. She leaned forward. Mr. Breznay sat upright, motionless, eyes gazing at the wall. The music box sat beside him, unmoved. A nurse passed behind Nora and muttered, "Poor man, still waiting after all these years." Nora turned. "Waiting for who?" The nurse blinked. "No one told you? He had a fiancée before the war. They say she was taken during a raid, never found, but he thinks she'll still come." Nora's heart panged. She stood. "Has anyone ever opened the box?" "Only he has the key," the nurse replied, "and he never lets it out of sight." That night, Nora slipped out of her room and tiptoed into the main hallway. Room 312's door was slightly ajar. The lights were off, but she could see Mr. Breznay's silhouette, his chest rising and falling gently in sleep. She moved slowly toward the table. The box gleamed faintly in the moonlight. She reached out and froze. Mr. Breznay's hand suddenly covered hers. "Curiosity," he whispered, eyes still closed, "is a dangerous thing, but sometimes it saves lives." Nora's breath hitched. He opened his eyes. "Would you like to know what's inside?" he asked softly. She nodded, scared but captivated. He sat up slowly and pulled a chain from under his shirt. The key glimmered. Unlocking the box, he opened it. Inside was a photograph of a young woman with jet black hair, a torn letter, and an old music mechanism. He turned the crank, and the melody played again. "She was called Ilona," he said. "We were supposed to marry the week after I returned from Vienna. But the war reached our town. She vanished the night her village was taken. I searched for her for years." Nora touched the edge of the box. "Why keep the music playing?" "She told me," he smiled faintly, "that if we were ever separated, she'd find me again. And if I ever heard our song, it meant she was near. But it's been over 50 years. He looked at her. "And yet, I still hear the tune in my dreams. I believe she's alive." Something in Nora's heart shifted. She didn't laugh or question him. Instead, she asked, "Can I help you find her?" Mr. Breznay's eyes welled with tears. "I don't have much time," he whispered. "But maybe someone like you still can." The next morning, Nora begged her mother to help her use the computer at the front desk. She scanned names of displaced persons from the 1940s. She found war archives, scrolled through databases, asked the librarian questions most adults never thought to ask. For days she searched, her notebook now filled with scribbles, names, and places. One entry caught her attention. Ilona Marco, age 22, missing from Sherhathalap, 1944. Last seen boarding a train toward Austria with evacuees. Nora took it to Mr. Breznay. His hand trembled as he read the page. That's her village." "There's more," Nora said, flipping the page. "Someone matching her name showed up in an orphanage record in 1951, in Salzburg." His eyes widened. "That means she survived." They stared at each other. But as days passed, Mr. Breznay's health declined. His breathing grew shallow. He stopped speaking as often. The nurses gave soft warnings. On a rainy Thursday, the doctor said, if there's anything he's waiting for, it better come soon. That night, Nora cried on the stairs. Then something clicked in her mind. What if Ilona had tried to return but couldn't find him? What if she had left a message? Nora raced back to the archive room, this time calling an old friend of her mother's who worked with displaced persons. They searched deeper. Then they found it. Ilona M. Breznay, resident of Salzburg Retirement Home, moved in 2005. Left behind a note for a man named Károly Breznay. If you ever find this, I waited. I looked for you at every train station. I played our song every year on your birthday. Forgive me for giving up. The paper trembled in Nora's hands. She ran to room 312, bursting through the door. Mr. Breznay. He stirred weakly. She held the note out to him. His eyes scanned the faded words. A tear rolled down his cheek. She waited, he whispered. She played the song. Yes, Nora smiled through her tears. She never stopped. He took her hand. Then I can sleep now, thank you. Károly Breznay passed away that night, the music box still softly playing. Nora didn't cry. She felt something else, peace. Weeks later, Nora and her mother traveled to Salzburg. They visited the home where Ilona had lived, now closed. But in the back garden, they found something extraordinary. A small bench. And under it, carved into the wood, Károly plus Ilona. If love is true, time cannot kill it. Nora stood silently, imagining them together. She placed the music box on the bench and played the song. And somewhere deep in her heart, she believed they heard it. Together. Moral of the story: love never truly fades. Sometimes it takes a curious heart to reunite the pieces time tried to bury. If the story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's more long stories in the vault, and every sketch tells a deeper story.